the hidden frequencies, why some souls walk with light, others with fire. What if I told you that the root of your struggles, your deepest power, and your most unexplainable experiences are not random, they're energetic fingerprints of something ancient living inside you? You see, we talk about personality traits, we talk about trauma, we talk about social programming, but beneath all that is vibration, the frequency your soul emits. And it's not just positive or negative. It's primordial. It's archetypal. It's angelic or demonic. And if you're watching this, it's probably not because you're curious. It's because you felt it. You've sensed that something about you doesn't fit in the normal human narrative. You've either been too much light or too much fire for the world to handle. And now it's time to figure out what that actually means.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons.
Before we dive in, let's destroy the Hollywood myths. Demonic doesn't mean evil, and angelic doesn't mean perfect. These are not moral categories. They are frequencies of consciousness. Both are powerful. Both can bring transformation. Both are encoded into the fabric of this reality. The angelic vibration is not fluffy or soft, it is piercing, clarifying, unshakably sovereign. It's the frequency that dissolves illusions and brings divine order. The demonic vibration is not just darkness, it is raw creative force, unfiltered truth, and deep cosmic rebellion. It is the side of the divine that destroys what must die so something higher can be born. And both exist within the full spectrum of awakened consciousness. So the question isn't, am I good or bad? The question is, what vibration do I carry, and how do I use it with awareness? The first sign is this. You've always felt like you were being watched, not in a paranoid way, but in a metaphysical sense. It's like your life has always felt like a kind of stage. There's always been a presence, just beyond the veil, observing you, guiding you, testing you. Sometimes it feels benevolent. Other times it feels like a trial. But either way, you've never felt alone. That's not your imagination. That's your soul's memory of where it originated. Angelic vibration people often feel like they're under divine surveillance because they are. They carry tasks, missions, codes that are not for this world. Demonic vibration souls often feel like they're being challenged by something bigger, dared to rise, provoked into power, because they are. They were born with the flame of rebellion in their chest, and the universe has been watching to see if they'll ignite it. The second sign is that people react to you in extreme ways even before you speak. You either calm them instantly or trigger them intensely. Some people feel healed in your presence, and others feel exposed. But nobody feels neutral. It's like your energy cracks something open in people, even if you don't try to. Angelic vibration people often have an aura that feels like truth, pure, unfiltered, non-judgmental, but it still slices through people's masks. Demonic vibration people carry a frequency that activates the shadow in others. Not because they're dark, but because they mirror power, and most people are terrified of their own. And this is why you've probably been misunderstood your whole life. You're not just a person. You're a frequency disruptor. You change people's fields just by walking into a room. That's not drama. That's design. The third sign is your relationship with pain. You've gone through things that most people can't imagine. You've either been purified by fire or drowned in silence. You've been betrayed, abandoned, broken open, and yet somehow you rose. You didn't just survive, you transmuted. Your suffering didn't harden you, it honed you. And this is a key indicator of angelic or demonic vibration, because both are forged in intensity. Angelic souls often carry generational burdens they incarnate to cleanse lineages, to end cycles, to hold light in places where no one else could. Demonic souls often carry karmic fire. They come to burn away illusion, to challenge systems, to break what must be broken. And their lives reflect it. That pain you've endured, it wasn't punishment, it was initiation. It was the cosmos shaping your vessel so it could hold the power of your vibration. The fourth sign is your relationship with truth. You can't stand lies, not even small ones. And not just other people's lies, but your own. You feel physically sick when you're not in alignment. You sense when someone's energy doesn't match their words. You can't force yourself to be fake, even when it would benefit you. This is because your vibration is truth-coded. Angelic souls are wired for divine truth. They see what most can't, and they can't unsee it. They are carriers of higher law. Demonic souls are wired for raw truth. They expose hypocrisy, dismantle false power, and burn through illusion like wildfire. Both are dangerous to systems built on lies. That's why you've often been the outcast, the black sheep, the one who makes things uncomfortable. But ask yourself this: would you rather be accepted for a lie or rejected for the truth you embody? The fifth sign is your emotional intensity. You don't just feel, you absorb. You don't just empathize, you merge. You can walk into a room and feel like you're drowning in other people's emotions. You've probably spent years wondering if you're too sensitive, but what you really are is energetically attuned. Angelic vibration people are often emotional alchemists. They can take dense, toxic energy and raise its frequency just by holding presence. Demonic vibration people are emotional transformers. They don't just transmute, they amplify, shift, shock, restructure. That intensity isn't dysfunction, it's spiritual technology. But if you don't learn how to manage it, it will burn you out. That's why spiritual hygiene is non-negotiable for people like you. You have to know what's yours and what's not. You have to learn when to clean your field and when to stand in your fire. The sixth sign is your connection to symbols, dreams, and archetypes. You've always been drawn to the mystical. Maybe you have recurring dreams with specific figures. Maybe you've seen winged serpents, light beings, or shadows in your peripheral vision. Maybe you've had visions that felt more real than waking life. These are not hallucinations. These are reminders. The angelic vibration communicates through geometry, light, sound, and sacred symbolism. The demonic vibration speaks through fire, instinct, force, and primal archetypes. Both are languages of the soul. And if you've been receiving these messages your whole life, It's time to stop questioning your sanity and start questioning what this reality is really made of. The seventh sign, and this is the one that separates the rare from the many, is your effect on frequency. When you speak, people shift. When you cry, energy moves. When you touch someone, something changes in them. And you've noticed it. Even if you've doubted it, people come to you when they're broken. They leave feeling clearer, even if you didn't give advice. That's not charisma. That's vibrational influence. You're not just a person. You're a bridge, a tuning fork, a transmitter. And whether your frequency is celestial or infernal or both, you are meant to change the field around you. That's why you can't hold on to what's fake. That's why shallow relationships drain you. That's why you'll never be satisfied with an ordinary life. Because your soul didn't come here to blend in. It came here to awaken the sleeping. So I ask you now, when will you stop pretending to be normal? When will you stop apologizing for your intensity, your knowing, your depth, your strange dreams, your power? When will you finally accept that you were born to be something otherworldly? The divine conflict within, why your soul feels torn between two worlds. Have you ever felt like you're living in two realities at once? Like part of you longs to rise, to serve, to bring light into the world, while another part of you burns with fury, rebellion, or a hunger for something deeper, darker, more primal. This isn't confusion. This isn't spiritual immaturity. This is the divine conflict that lives inside those of us who carry angelic or demonic vibration. It's the pull between heaven and earth, between surrender and sovereignty, between obedience to a higher law and defiance of every false one. And until you learn how to live with that tension instead of trying to fix it, you'll always feel like you're betraying part of yourself. You see, the angelic vibration anchors the principle of divine order. It's about sacred alignment, grace, clarity, and transmission of higher frequencies. But it also requires sacrifice, not the sacrifice of your essence, but of your ego. It asks you to kneel not to others, but to truth, to serve without needing credit, to hold light even when you're surrounded by shadows. That's why angelic souls often feel burdened by responsibility, like they have to hold it all together, like they must be the strong one, the wise one, the one who uplifts others no matter what. But here's the trap. When you serve without boundaries, you burn out your own flame. Your angelic vibration isn't here to be a martyr. It's here to transmit light with discernment, not depletion. So ask yourself, where in your life are you giving your light to people who refuse to grow in it? Now, the demonic vibration holds a different kind of fire. It's the energy of sovereignty, rebellion, and transformation through chaos. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait to be invited. It erupts. It disrupts. It claims. But it too comes with a shadow. Because when you carry this energy without awareness, you can fall into self-destruction. You can mistake your power for permission to dominate. You can burn bridges that were meant to be walked across. And you can isolate yourself from the very world you came to liberate. The key is not to suppress this force, but to refine it. to realize that your rage is sacred only when it serves truth, not ego. That your fire is divine when it purifies, not when it scorches everything out of fear. So I ask you, are you letting your power serve your mission or your wounds? Both vibrations carry immense potential, but only if you stop trying to live in either or. Because the truth is, most of us carry both. That's the paradox. You might be coated with angelic grace and demonic force. You might have the tenderness of a healer and the intensity of a destroyer. And instead of choosing which one is right, your job is to integrate them. That's the real mastery. That's when you become whole. When you can stand in your light without becoming self-righteous. When you can wield your fire without becoming consumed by it. When you can hold both heaven and hell inside your chest and still walk the earth in peace. But integration doesn't happen through more information. It happens through initiation, through direct experience, through sitting with your own shadows until they reveal the gift they're guarding, through spending time in silence until your inner chaos starts to sing a deeper song. It happens when you stop running from the parts of you that feel too much, when you stop trying to be palatable, when you stop performing spirituality and start embodying truth. And that's not a comfortable path. It's not linear. It doesn't always look pretty, but it's real. And that's what your soul is craving now, a real life, grounded in real power, guided by real purpose. Let me tell you something that most teachers won't. Power is not always peaceful. Growth is not always graceful. Awakening is not always love and light. Sometimes awakening feels like death. Sometimes you shatter. Sometimes you scream. Sometimes you lose everything that was keeping you small. And that's perfect. That's the fire doing its job. That's the vibration you carry clearing the field so something sacred can rise. The angelic energy within you knows how to rebuild. The demonic energy within you knows how to destroy. But you, the soul behind both, must choose what's worth saving and what must be burned. And this is where the true spiritual war lies, not out in the world, but inside you. Between the part that wants to ascend and the part that wants to descend into the roots. Between the part that wants to heal and the part that wants to witness the burn. Between the divine light and the divine fire. The old paradigm said you had to choose, to be good or bad, be light or dark. But that was a lie, a spell to keep you from your full power. Because the most awakened beings are not the softest. They are the most integrated. They've met their own darkness. They've danced with their own demons. They've owned their shadows not to worship them, but to liberate the power inside them. So if you feel torn between two worlds, it's because you are. You are a bridge. You are a living paradox. You're not here to take sides. You're here to merge worlds. Your vibration is a portal between the seen and unseen, between the sacred and the profane. And when you stop fighting your own complexity, you become limitless. You become the place where light and fire kiss. You become a living transmission of wholeness. But it requires fierce honesty. You must ask yourself questions that most people are afraid to ask. Where have I been pretending to be only light? while suppressing my fire? Where have I been acting powerful while secretly avoiding my pain? What parts of myself have I rejected, judged, or feared because they didn't fit into someone else's idea of spiritual? Because until you face those answers, you're not free. You're still split, still edited, still playing a role. And the world doesn't need your costume. It needs your frequency, raw, unfiltered, embodied. That's how you change people. That's how you shift timelines. That's how you become the guide you were looking for. So I'll leave you with this. What would happen if you stopped trying to be light or dark and started being whole? What would your life look like if you let all of you rise? The sacred mirror, how others react to your hidden power and what it reveals about your true self. Have you ever noticed how people behave strangely around you, even when you're doing absolutely nothing? It's like the moment you enter a room, something shifts subtly or dramatically. Some people are drawn to you instantly, magnetized by something they can't explain. Others pull away without warning, even become defensive or cold. You've probably asked yourself, did I do something wrong? But the truth is, you didn't do anything. You simply are. You are walking with a vibration that speaks louder than words and reaches deeper than logic. And the way people react to your presence is not about you, it's about what's being revealed in them. This is the sacred mirror we carry when we walk with angelic or demonic frequency. We don't just show up, we reflect. We reflect people's truth, their shadows, their potential, their fear, their light. Our vibration acts like a spiritual X-ray, exposing what's hidden beneath the surface. Angelic energy reveals what's unhealed because it's so pure, so precise, so aligned that anything out of sync starts to shake. Demonic energy reveals what's inauthentic because it's so raw, so primal, so unfiltered that it burns through the performance. And this is why people either rise or run when they come near you. You are not neutral. You're activating something ancient in them. This is especially true in relationships. You've probably experienced intense connections, sudden endings, or people saying things like, I don't know why, but I feel like I've known you forever, or I feel safe with you, or even you scare me. These are not random emotional responses. These are energetic recognitions. On a soul level, people feel your vibration before they understand your personality. They sense the mission encoded in your field. And depending on where they are in their own journey, they will either be drawn closer or they'll try to escape. That's not rejection. That's resonance mismatch. It's not about whether you're lovable. It's about whether they're ready to meet themselves in your mirror. This is why boundaries are not optional for us. When you carry such a charged frequency, you must become a master of your own energy. Otherwise, you'll constantly attract wounded people who want to drink your light or fight your fire. You'll find yourself in one-sided relationships, spiritual bypassing communities, or draining environments that idolize your gifts but reject your truth. That's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to recognize it. Because your job is not to convince people of your worth. Your job is to embody your vibration so purely that anything not in resonance simply falls away. Here's something most people don't understand. Both angelic and demonic vibrations carry spiritual authority. Not as a title or ego boost, but as a frequency that commands alignment. When you speak, people listen not because you're loud, but because your words carry cosmic weight. When you're silent, people feel it not as absence, but as presence. You can change the entire energy of a conversation with a single look. You can bring someone to tears with a single phrase. You can destabilize someone's ego without ever raising your voice. And that's why you must be conscious of how you use your power. Because people are listening. Not just with their ears, but with their soul. But this reflection works both ways. Just as others are reacting to you, you are learning from them. The way people show up around you teaches you about your own integration. If you're constantly being drained, it's time to ask, where am I abandoning my own boundaries to be liked? If people are intimidated by you, ask, am I fully owning my softness, or am I hiding behind fire to protect myself? If people are obsessed with you, ask, am I allowing myself to be human, or am I performing perfection? Every reaction is a clue. Every relationship is feedback. Every interaction is a mirror of your own embodiment. This is why solitude is often essential for those of us who carry these frequencies. Because in the silence, you begin to hear your real self again, not the projection, not the role, not the reflection. You hear the voice underneath it all. You remember that before you were anyone's mirror, you were a soul. And that soul didn't come here to be worshipped or feared. It came here to transmit a vibration so pure, so necessary, so disruptive that it would help awaken the sleeping, liberate the caged, and burn away the illusions of this world. But that requires you to stop apologizing for who you are. You were never meant to be digestible. You were never meant to be everyone's favorite. You were meant to be true. You were meant to be whole. And that kind of authenticity will always provoke something in others. Sometimes love, sometimes fear, sometimes projection, but always activation. And your job is not to control how they respond. Your job is to stay aligned with your frequency, no matter who's watching. So here's a radical question. What if the very reactions you're trying to avoid, the judgment, the misunderstanding, the intensity, are actually proof that your soul is doing its job? What if being polarizing isn't a problem, but a sign of energetic power? Think about it. When have you ever remembered someone who didn't make you feel something? The people who change the world are the ones who are willing to be disruptive in the name of truth, not for attention, but for transformation. And you, whether you know it or not, are one of those people. You didn't come here to blend in. You came here to break spells. You came here to activate frequency. You came here to mirror the divine in its light and in its fire. And that is not a small task. That is not a path for the faint of heart. That is the path of the awakened soul, the integrated soul. The soul who remembers that being both angel and demon is not a contradiction, it's a completion. So I ask you now, with everything you've learned, are you still afraid of being misunderstood? Or are you finally ready to let your vibration speak louder than your words? the final integration, how to fully embody your angelic or demonic purpose in this world. There comes a moment in every awakened soul's journey when the question is no longer, who am I? But rather, what will I do with what I've become? And if you've made it this far, then you've already felt the weight and the wonder of your vibration. Whether it leans angelic, demonic, or dances wildly between both, the time has come to stop analyzing it and start embodying it. Because the truth is, this world is being starved of real presence. It's collapsing under the weight of false light and artificial fire. And the reason you were born with this rare, intense, otherworldly frequency is because you are the medicine the world forgot it needed. But how do you integrate something this big? How do you live a normal life when you carry power that cracks illusions open and shakes souls awake? The answer is, you don't live a normal life. You live a sacred life. You live a precise life. You live a life that is built around your vibration instead of constantly betraying it to fit in. But that kind of life doesn't just happen. It must be chosen. It must be constructed like a temple, brick by brick, choice by choice, ritual by ritual. Because your vibration is not just for the moments when you're teaching or channeling or healing. It's for everything. It's the way you eat, the way you speak, the way you move through space. It's the way you handle conflict, the way you rest, the way you rise. Let's start with the angelic embodiment. If you carry this vibration, your soul is here to anchor divine order. That means your presence is not just peaceful, it is structural. You bring clarity to chaos, beauty to distortion, light to gloom. But only if you're operating from embodiment, not performance. Angelic souls often get caught in the trap of overgiving, overpleasing, or becoming too ethereal to function in the real world. But true angelic embodiment is grounded. It's sovereign. It knows how to say no. It knows how to hold presence without absorbing poison. It knows how to speak truth without needing to be liked. So start paying attention to where you're diluting your light to make others comfortable. Start asking, am I transmitting truth or managing perception? Now, if your frequency leans more toward the demonic, your soul is here to initiate transformation. That means you are a living fire. You burn illusions. You dismantle false power. You awaken what's been buried. But only if your fire is conscious. The unintegrated demonic energy becomes destruction for the sake of chaos. It lashes out, isolates, dominates, or self-sabotages. But integrated demonic power is surgical. It's intentional. It's holy. It knows when to burn and when to build. It knows that destruction is sacred only when it clears space for truth. So ask yourself, am I wielding fire from my soul or from my wound? Am I here to punish the world or to liberate it? And for those of you who carry both vibrations, who feel the pull of light and fire, who have wings on your back and hunger in your blood, your path is the rarest of all. You are the bridge, the living paradox, the one who can hold divine silence and speak cosmic fury in the same breath. You are the merger of archetypes, the proof that duality is not division, it's completion. But your integration depends on your willingness to stop choosing sides. to stop trying to be digestible, to stop explaining your complexity to those who are still trapped in black and white thinking. Your power doesn't come from being understood. It comes from being true. And this is where the deeper embodiment begins, through ritual, through discipline, through devotion, not to dogma, not to a system, but to your frequency. You must create rituals that cleanse and charge your energy field. You must protect your nervous system like it is sacred ground. You must eat, sleep, speak, move, and relate in ways that honor your vibration. That might mean fasting during certain lunar cycles. That might mean walking away from friendships that can't hold your truth. That might mean spending hours in silence or dancing wildly under the stars. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It matters that it's yours, because no one taught you how to live this way. That's because you are the template. You are the code. You are the one others will look to when the old systems collapse. But don't wait for the world to catch up. Start now. Start small. Choose one part of your life and ask, is this aligned with my vibration? Your job? Your body? Your relationships? Your home? If it's not aligned, it's a leak. And you cannot afford to leak energy when you are carrying frequencies this intense. You must become pristine, not perfect but clear, so that when the divine speaks through you, there's no distortion. So that when your fire erupts, it doesn't destroy, it rebirths. So that when someone steps into your field, they don't just feel inspired, they feel changed. And remember, integration is not a final destination. It's a practice. Some days you will feel like a god. Other days you'll feel like a ghost. That's okay. The power lives not in being flawless, but in being faithful. Faithful to your essence. Faithful to the mission. Faithful to the frequency that lives inside your bones. This world is not kind to people like us. It will try to tame you. It will try to label you. It will try to shame you into thinking your depth is a problem. But let me be clear, your vibration is not a flaw. It is a frequency of divine intelligence, and it is time for you to live like it. So here's the final question, the one that decides everything. Now that you know what you are, what will you build with it? Who will you become when you stop hiding? What kind of world will you co-create when you stop pretending to be less than what you are? Because you, my friend, are not just a seeker. You are not just a student. You are not just a survivor of your own darkness. You are a frequency bearer. You are the reminder. You are the transmission. And the world is not waiting for another spiritual teacher. The world is waiting for you fully activated, fully embodied, fully unleashed.